Hey guys, my name's Steph. I'm Botanist Cool. I'm here to hang out and play some D&D with you guys and my friends. We're short one for a little while, but he's gonna be coming in later. I promise you that. But let's go introduce ourselves. Left to right, up to down. We know how to do it now, hopefully.
All right. I am Katie, and I play Annalisa Goodbarrel.
My name is Wiggs. Oh, well, my name's Kelly, and I play a wild magic sorcerer.
And this is usually the part where Neville would introduce himself, but I'm Noelle, and I play Tucker, the half-elf rogue.
You guys know me. I'm Steph. I'm Botanist Cool, and we're actually gonna have Neville come in very soon. Just so you guys know, we will have, if of course the players want to, they might be able to interact in chat when they're not busy. But of course, the first and foremost priority is for us to have a great game and show you guys a great time with some great storytelling. And these guys are fantastic role players and do a fantastic job of that. So if you guys ever do want to chat, feel free to talk in chat. Feel free to leave your comments and leave some love for our fantastic role players. They do a great job, and I would love to see them glorified.
Steph, you look so. Your green screen is looking very nice with your little shield in the background.
Oh, good,
Yeah,
good. I'm really glad. I'm always worried that like this just. It's always like a subconscious worry, like, oh god, it's not perfectly working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sometimes there's a small little green halo, but overall,
Oh yeah, yeah. No, the green halo is the meme. I love that part.
that's the most important part of the green screen is the
It
green
adds
halo.
character.
That's character. All right, guys. Let's get this going. As you guys know, there are two main house rules I have for this game. First and foremost, at the beginning of every game, I ask the players for their knowledge rolls, which basically means, hey, if there's something you want to know about the background of this role that your character would know, feel free to roll for it. We'll see what will happen. And the second one is every 4 levels, as well as getting the normal ability points up, you will also get a feat. We're still at level 2 though, so that hasn't come in just yet. But let's have you guys do your knowledge rolls. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So Annalisa separated from Tucker and Lanu last time with the intention of finding something cooler than them.
Yeah.
So I would like to roll to find where something cool is to brag about.
Sure. Go for it.
That's a 3.
You know what? I'm gonna
Tragic.
say this, Annalisa. During your time, obviously in the town, you've been trying to scrounge up information from your memory about what your parents have been telling you about the town, because you guys obviously had a former trade relationship between Vine Grove and the town of Kromble before the Clemening. And unfortunately, what you've mostly scrounged up in your brain is nothing of import at all. And
Tragic.
you're just like, man, if I had this one really cool thing, I could be like, oh man, this is a really cool thing, and you don't have it at all.
I'm so Annalise, it's so I'm so sad for Annalise.
Sorry, Annalisa, you don't have a plus 17.
Well, no, this is the knowledge roll. You don't get plus anything.
Nope, it's just.
I know, that's the one cool thing that you're missing.
All right.
Hey,
who
if I
wants
need
go
to be
next?
athletic, just
Oh
you wait.
yeah. How much do you have athletics as a barbarian? You have like a +7, right?
Oh, no, not right now. Right now it's just plus 5.
Damn, that's still pretty good. That is still pretty good. All right, who wants to go next?
I will.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if I have any triggered memories about these dolls that are laying around.
Ooh, yeah, okay. So for those who don't know, Wiggs is an amnesiac, and Kelly has allowed me to do whatever I so please with her past.
This could be a mistake or a great opportunity.
Yeah, definitely could be.
I got a natural one.
Oh no.
Starting off with the great rolls today, guys. Hmm. I'm gonna say this. The dolls don't feel comforting to you, obviously. That's really about it. I feel like, if anything, the feeling you get from this dolls will probably add to Wiggs' paranoia to a degree. Unknown source of origin. Like, you know of Clemening by name. And how old is Wiggs again?
She is 80.
80. And while you should have lived through it, you only know of it by name, which I think adds a level of fear to you that you might not be quite so used to, or that might be a little more foreign if you had known about it. Like, you just don't know about it. This is something that's been big, something that's happened years ago, but something that was supposed to have been like this really big event everybody knows about, and you don't know shit about it. So these dolls just give you this really unsettling feeling that's just extremely uncomfortable.
Gotcha.
And last but not least, Tucker, have you got a question for us today?
I do have a question. I want to know if I know anything or have heard anything about what where the refugees went, or what the refugees did after they left Kromble,
All
after
right.
they evacuated.
Go for it and roll for me, my friend.
Pretty good, 13.
So there are two places you do know that the refugees went, two primary areas of leaving, shall we say. The first of which was very much so the old Guild Republic, which is on the southern the old Guild Nation capital, which is on the southern end of the continent. The Guild Nation eventually reformed into the Republic after the Clemening, so they share the continent, but they share the two different time spaces, kind of like what used to be the country of Florida becoming part of the United States. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Believe it or not, Florida was a country at one point. That's kind of insane to think about. And the second was Port Terram, another old port city down to the south, past Northbury, that has been in ruin for as long as you know, for quite a while, actually. You're not quite sure for what reason they've been in ruin, and you're not sure like what has happened to them. You've heard recently that like some adventurers from the areas have come up from there and have actually like from the Guild Nation, from the new Guild Nation, have actually come up through there to investigate the area, but you're not sure what's happened since then. Port Terram and the old Guild Nation capital are the two areas where you immediately know there's been the most amount of people leaving to save themselves.
Mm-hmm. And other than the old Guild Nation, all of these places are in ruins, like even now, right?
Yes. The only places that aren't in ruin are places completely controlled by the Republic at the moment, in which case these guys actively have quite a few cities that are properly structured, properly led, and don't have like ruins. Now there are ruins within the Republic territory, but they're not, they're like Kromble. No one lives there really.
Yeah, they went to the old Guild Republic, which was the old Guild Nation capital, and that's a ruin currently, right?
The old Guild Nation capital is currently in ruin, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything basically west of the Templed Mountains is in ruins, and a lot of the stuff south of Northbury are also in ruins.
Okay.
But otherwise, like, you have a pretty decent spread of non-ruined and ruined stuff within the immediate territory.
Okay.
All right. I think we know where we're going to immediately pick off on. We just had a very interesting encounter. So, Tucker, starting from last game, you had separated from Professor Lanu, worrying about his health, and you saw he was relatively safe within a makeshift armory inside of the city of Kromble, which we can see in the buildings on the orange to the left. The makeshift armory didn't seem anything too special. There was plenty of things there that obviously could be helpful to learning about the last stand of the city and whatnot. But there's a lot of things there that just kind of weren't worth anything. A lot of old, broken tools that immediately you're thinking to yourself are just whatever. It's just filler.
Leftovers, yeah.
But what you did was you actually went outside the building, and against probably what Lanu was aiming for, you separated from him, following a path going all the way a few buildings down to that like weird W-shaped building, all the way to what used to be the town hall. And while you try to sneak on in, your primary focus was on getting in there quietly, but you were unable to perceive the 12, roughly 12, clay dolls currently standing up in front of you. These dolls, for those who weren't here last time, are clay in armament. Like they'll have a clay exterior, but on the inside, they are all filled with hay. And the one difference you recognize from a lot of these dolls is that instead of just hay being in there, you see a thin copper wire going through each of the doll's joints. Where normally it would just be hay or straw, you see a very thin, shiny metal in there. But other than that, nothing really differentiates themselves. And they don't seem to have noticed you yet, but you have now currently entered this building and are face to face with 12 of these immediate threats. What do you do?
So last time, when Tucker entered, before he went in, he picked up a copper wire. Is this wire similar to the wire running through the clay dolls?
You've not gone into you have not gone to the clay dolls yourself, but you did get this wire off a clay doll, so you could make the assumption that yes, it's going to be extremely similar.
Okay. Do the clay dolls seem like they're still moving or like actively standing, I guess, or are they like inanimate?
They are 100% actively standing.
Oh God. Tucker is going to freeze for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And do they seem hostile? Like, do they see me or notice me or like?
They haven't faced you. If that's what you're saying, they're all facing in somewhat different directions, but they're all like huddled in an area, shall we say. So when you look into the room, you obviously see like there's some town center stuff. Receptionist desks on the right. On the left, there's kind of like a waiting area. And further back, there's some rooms that go into storage areas, obviously, with a hallway way further back on the left-hand side that seems to be going into other like administration areas. Your best guess is this might have been actually an old guild building of some sort, like the Adventurers or the Commerce Guild from way back when. And as you kind of look around, the dolls don't seem to be reacting to you immediately. They seem to be just standing around one area, looking is the best way to put it, but you're not sure if they're actively looking or if it looks like they're looking, you know what I'm saying? They're dolls. They're not like creatures that you can see like if they're looking around and scouting. They just seem to be standing in one area, obviously still being powered by the magic that's keeping them up, unlike the other dolls outside.
So are they all facing like the same direction
Different
or
directions.
are they different directions?
Yes.
And they haven't noticed me.
It does not seem so.
Tuck is slowly going to back out.
Give me a stealth roll.
Oh God. Stealth. Oh, 7.
All right, as you start backing out, one of the dolls, you step on some wood that essentially is old, rotted, and your foot kind of falls through the floor a little bit. It's not too far. It's about 6 feet, 6 inches. Let me correct myself.
6 feet.
Your leg falls 6 feet, but your body stays just where it is. No, your foot just falls like 6 inches down and just kind of plumps right onto the ground. And a few dolls do see you, and they start moving in your direction. What do you do?
Can Tuck perceive the doll's movement and pretend to be one?
Give me that a performance roll. I think would be fine for that. Give me a performance roll.
All right, hold on. I have the actor feat.
Okay.
Let's see. You have advantage on deception and performance checks when trying to pass yourself off as a different person. And you can mimic the speech of another person or sounds made by other creatures that you have heard for at least 1 minute. Can I use this, or does
Yeah.
it not apply?
That
Okay.
applies. Go for it.
All right. Oh, thank God. I needed that. So performance, you
Yes,
said?
performance.
+0, so 15.
As you make your body more rigid, you kind of stand up more straight, and your arms kind of have a almost jankier feel as you kind of move them around. And the dolls kind of come up to you, and they just kind of stare at you for a moment. And one of them jankily kind of gets down on a knee and kind of like puts their hands under your like armpits and starts pulling you up, and then kind of starts carrying you. Surprisingly, this thing is pretty strong carrying you. Are you going to try to resist it and get out of its grasp, or what are you going to do?
No, I'll let it carry me.
It carries you all the way to where the group is huddled. And you see another doll kind of bend down over, and it seems to loosely grab a hatch with its hand and opens it. And the other doll kind of half-hazardly puts you over it without like lowering you down like a normal person would, and just kind of drops you. You can give me a dexterity saving throw real quick.
Oh my God, what? Okay, first of all, how big are these dolls? You said they were human size, but
5
this
to
doll
6
had
feet.
to like. Oh God, okay. So dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
Why am I rolling so badly on all my rogue stuff?
No
9.
clue. No, yeah, that's fine. You land with a little humph as you get down, and you realize the floor beneath you is actually decently padded. There's some form of, you're a half elf, right?
Yeah,
Do you have dark vision?
I do.
As you kind of see down, you're certainly in some form of cellar. The ladder in front of you has rotted away long ago, to the best of your knowledge. Because you can see part of it just kind of broken down. But you do see, as you kind of look around, you do see evidence of, shall we say, past livings. The bottom seems to be full of some form of padding. You're not quite sure what it is immediately, but there seems to be a padding on the bottom here. And on the left and right, you see multiple blankets of sorts. You assume they're blankets because they seem to be long and kind of in almost a bed shape around an area. But when it comes down to these things, it's just they've been so old and deteriorated, you could only assume that this used to be like a bedding area of some sort. On the other side, you do see multiple chests that seem to have been able to withstand the test of time for a decent amount of time, as well as equipment for things like torches, lighting, etc. You're not quite sure what else is going on around here, but you are free to kind of look around, investigate. What do you want to do?
Tuck
And
wants
above you, the hatch shuts.
Oh, cool. Tuck is going to look up, squint his eyes, say a swear under his breath, and he is going to investigate the padding that he landed on, since you said that
Yeah.
I didn't quite know what it was.
Roll investigation.
I hope it's not bodies.
It's all humans.
It's all human bodies. 12.
Immediately you figure out that it's not humans. But it's definitely a cushion filled with something that you could only assume is either a form of down or wool or hay or something like that. It definitely has a lot more give than normal padding would, but it had just enough for you to land relatively comfortably as you fell. But this wouldn't be a good place to sleep, as an example, anymore. It would still probably feel horrible to sleep on. Kind of like a really old used futon is the best way to kind of put it. But there's definitely something in here that doesn't feel human or biological, but some kind of padding in general.
Okay. Second thing Tuck is going to look for is if there's anything alive or living or sentient in the room, including animals like rats and stuff like that.
Sure, give me a perception roll.
Perception. 22.
So as you look around you, the good news is, the good and the bad news is that there seems to be nothing alive, or nothing of note alive. You do see a few small things like the occasional mouse, like you kind of hear the scuttering of a mouse nearby, and you do like kind of hear some bugs around here and there, like you would normally outside. But you don't see anything like people or humans. You don't see anything recently lived in. But you also don't see any bones. So that's good for you as well, as you kind of look around.
Okay. And you mentioned some chests as well.
Yes. Do you want to look at the chests?
Yes, he's going to look at the chests, but he's going to check for any kinds of traps or anything that'll like hurt him if he tries to open them or interact with them.
That would be an investigation roll. Go for it.
That is another 12.
You're not aware of any traps in the chest, but you are aware that they are locked.
Tuck is going to try to unlock them with his thieves' tools.
Roll, yeah, your proficiency to that.
Yep, I also yay! I also
Neville.
have expertise in it. Hi, Neville.
Hi, friends.
Yay.
Neville
Tuck was
plays Ordo
kidnapped.
Broken Tusk, so all good stuff.
Hi, I am Ordo Broken Tusk. That's all you need to know. Everything else you'll find out in due time.
As Neville looks off into the middle distance.
The middle distance.
All right, Tuck, roll that beautiful bean footage.
24.
Okay, yeah, you easily unlock these chests. They were not made for like insane security, obviously. As you kind of look inside, you do see a lot of documentation. It looks more along the lines of something that I guess we would equivalent it to ourselves as a time capsule, but you would equivalent it to just kind of loose papers, loose documents, and probably miscellaneous information. You're not quite sure what's in the documents, but as you kind of look around, you do see books, you see like handwritten ledgers, books, etc., and you do see one of the books has emblazed upon it the symbol of the Old Adventurers Guild, the Old Explorers Guild, the Old Explorers Guild.
Oh, there it is. Now we see it.
Thank you for the subscription, Neville. But holy shit, that was so funny.
Oh the dance! Oh, the dance! Oh, I love this.
I heard it coming through my ear, just like, we are running. Anyways, thank you for the subscription, Neville.
Oh,
I am a little sick, so if I cough, my apologies, everybody. Oh.
yeah.
So blazed upon it, the old logo essentially of the Explorers Guild. The Explorers Guild likely did its best to obviously retreat everyone out and whatnot, but it was kind of like the general centralized government, quote unquote, amongst the old guild nations. So this definitely seems to be more official documentation versus haphazard documentation, if that makes sense.
So where does it seem that I am? Like, am I in a prison cell? Am I in an office? Like, you described it as they like threw me underground, like into a hatch. So what is this place? Like, can I tell?
To the best of your knowledge, it seems like a bunker.
A bunker was. Does it seem like hidden or anything? Like, was the hatch like obvious like from upstairs, or was it hidden and the dolls just knew about it?
It looked like the dolls congregated around the hatch, so you never got a good look at the hatch before you got thrown into it. but it looks like the dolls congregated around the hatch. I will say the area you're in looks like it could have been much more comfortable 70 years ago, obviously, with a level of amenity that would allow people to stand out for stay fine for an extended period of time. Your best guess maybe a week or two, but you're not 100% sure like what exactly it was used for. To the best of your knowledge, it's a bunker of sorts.
All right. Tuck will gather the documents and the books that look the most important all into one place into his possession.
So you take the books and just kind of put them in your backpack, and you make sure that you kind of skim through the documents really quickly and take the ones you feel that are the most important, or at least the ones that are most historically relevant, and also note down the area for like further excavations in the future, obviously. But you take the immediate important stuff out. Do you want to look more around the room, or what do you want to do?
Tuck wants to look at the papers like as he's gathering them to see if a specific name comes up over and over again that might give some kind of identity to who this bunker belonged to, or who might have been the leader or the person that was collecting or doing all of this paperwork.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So I think the first thing you immediately recognize, once again, you give me an investigation roll to double check to see how much information you get, but give me a quick investigation roll because you are kind of going through this really quickly.
Yeah, 19.
19. All right, so okay. This is good news. You recognize you don't recognize the name, but you see the name. You see a lot of names from letters from someone named Tala Dune. Who seemed to have been kind of the general guild master at the time, kind of like the national representative, shall we say, Tala Dune. And at that time, she seems to be sending letters quite frequently. These seem to be dated just days after the Clemening. A lot of these letters are stating things like evacuation point at the capital, bring any sick or injured there, bring the worst off to Port Tarim to evacuate them quicker. Whoever can last an extra day or two, bring them to the capital. That kind of deal. And as you kind of read through this, you do see the letters, once again, are being sent back by a person named... that is a... You know what? Random name generator, I'm going to click you again. Radorsk, Radorsk. And Radorsk, it seems to be kind of like the local leader, sending back information, being like, all right, we are packing up our crew now, should be able to last a few days, etc. We'll be out in 3 days' time, kind of deal. And then you see updates. First caravan sent out, second caravan sent out. And you know there are 2 more caravans planned, but you see no information on them. It seems to just kind of cut off after the second caravan.
All right. After investigating that, Tuck would also like to look around the room for 2 things, which is either any hidden compartments or like things that might be hiding,
Sure.
and B, he's also looking for any thieves can't like writing or scritches around.
Ooh, okay, yeah. Give me an investigation roll.
18.
Yes, so good news. There is thieves' camp. The thieves' camp, funny enough, is kind of covered up by some of the more newer amenities. So you kind of like take down and move across some like, you move kind of some things out of the way, some chests out of the way. You move some provisions out of the way that you assume would have been hanging up, jackets, etc. And you kind of look at the thieves' camp. And the thieves' camp just simply says, the thieves' camp just kind of goes like, getaway area, that's really about it. It's saying like this is a getaway area that the thieves used to use to kind of, if they were about to be brought into the area to get in trouble, as long as they could get to this area, they knew where to go. So your immediate instinct is that yes, there is another exit out of here. And it seems like the thieves had actually made this at some point in time, to the best of your knowledge.
Dug their way out with a spoon.
You could definitely put it like that. I will say this: it's more along the lines of your best guess, having read some old documents. It's more along the lines of someone who was in the higher up of this guild said, "Hey, we should build a cellar," but he was also part of the thieves guild, so he kind of made it a little bit more along the lines of a dual purpose kind of deal. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so what I'm gathering is the person who made this cellar was in the Thieves Guild?
Thieves Guild and
Or who
probably
made this bunker?
Yeah, Thieves Guild and the Explorers Guild. This doesn't look like it was made in one day kind of deal. It looks like it's been here for quite a while, in all honesty.
Is that common in like this world that Explorers Guild people would also be part of the Thieves Guild? Like, are Thieves Guilds
Give
like
me a history roll.
known? 17.
Yeah, so the Thieves Guild is kind of an open secret. Essentially, that's what it was. Everyone knew about the Thieves Guild. The Thieves Guild was a national thing in a similar way that the Explorers Guild was. It was unofficially one of the largest guilds out there because it was. There was ample opportunity to steal, and in all honesty, if some people had connections to the Thieves Guild, they could actually hire for sabotage. They were kind of like the covert black ops in a way sometimes used, and also at the same time they serve their own interest. As an example, let's say one guild was at one of the technology of another guild, and they knew someone in the Thieves Guild. They might go, "Hey, listen, I heard, a little story here, and I also heard that if you come to my house at 12 a.m. and I'm sleeping, you could probably take 3,000 gold from me, no big deal." But, that kind of deal. It was a lot of subterfuge. So it was kind of an open secret, and at the same time, Thieves Guild members did have a civilian persona should they have chosen to. So not every Thieves Guild member, but plenty of them had dual lives. Some of them were higher ups in other guilds, some of them not so much. From what your best guess is, someone who was relatively powerful within this community was like, "Hey, let's build a bunker," and just in case, he also put some Thieves Guild scratchings here and there to kind of be like, "Hey, this is also a safe place. Use it wisely. Don't be an idiot."
Okay. Good advice for Tuck.
Mm-hmm.
Tuck is going to look back up at the hatch. Does he hear anything or like see the dolls moving or doing anything?
No. If anything, it seems like the dolls just went back to standing still.
Tuck is going to take one last glance around the room to see if anything catches his interest or seems noteworthy to investigate more.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
I will say this: because of the scratchings in the wall, you're able to realize that there is a second exit out of here.
Yeah. He's basically doing one last glance before he like bounces.
I will say this: nothing of immediate interest is there in terms of like, oh, there's a really cool magical sword or shit. Like, obviously that's not the case, but
Yeah.
I will say of interest there is some basic minor belongings. Probably like you see a few letters kind of straddled throughout here, or the remnants of letters. You don't think that you could probably extract them properly because they weren't in the chest. They weren't properly stored, so they are probably molding over a little bit. And if you try to take them, they would like break apart.
Yeah.
But you do see evidence of, once again, kids and adults having been in here at some point in time. As you kind of look around, you do end up seeing a second. Oh, I actually kicked my camera. My apologies. You do see a second exit out, not too far away. You're not sure quite where it leads, but you are aware that it is there.
Tucker wants to look through some of the personal effects.
Yeah.
And he just wants to see if he could find anything that looks like it won't fall apart if he tries to take it, and B, not necessarily that's something that looks valuable, but something that looks personal and upon some further investigation might give him more of an idea of who was here or some idea of the culture or the people.
Sure. I'll let your 18 slide because you rolled quite a bit for this area. I'm gonna kind of give you a general gist. I think the most interesting thing you do find as you look around is in one of the bedding areas, you kind of see a small glimmer, a metallic glimmer. You can investigate that area if you want. You do see things like dolls, etc., and you do see other things that have brands from like basic weaponry kind of deal. Like you see like a short sword that has kind of a really obvious Soren's blade brand on it, which was an old guild from way back when. You also see some general personal effects, but they seem to be like secondary. Everything that was important seems to have taken out of here. People obviously egressed from this area. They obviously left from this area, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so Tuck is going to investigate the glimmer.
As you head towards the bed, and you kind of move away the like rotting sheets and what have you, you do see a small copper origami dog. Just kind of sitting there. It's not moving, it's just there.
Did you say copper origami?
Yes.
As in origami, but made out of copper, or the color of copper?
It looks like a piece of copper paper.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Like it's actually metal copper.
Okay, not that I'm there, but...
Yeah. That's a good question, though. That's a good question.
Tuck is going to pick it up.
It's a copper origami dog. You have it in your hands.
He's also going to look for a weapon with the Tides Guild on it. Like Tides Guild symbol.
The old tides.
Yes.
Okay. You do find a few weapons with the old tide symbol on it. You also do find a few weapons with the Soren's blade symbol on it. You can take either or. There's some daggers, short swords, nothing spectacular.
Take a dagger.
Okay, you take a dagger. It could have the old tide symbol on it if you'd like as well.
Yeah. And yeah, he'll leave.
As you head towards the egress point, you open the door and you see that very clearly there's more tunnel to go down. You're not quite sure where the tunnel leads, but you start following the tunnel. Let's switch over now to the Annalisa group. And a quick question, Ordo, do you have a background check you want to make real quick?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't come with one prepared, so I'm not going to waste.
Fair enough. You guys have recently checked a few buildings, not too far into a little far into the residential area. You guys have exited out of maybe 3 or 4 buildings at this time, having not found anything of significant value at that moment. At this point in time, you guys are heading out towards the main street, towards down south, and you have the opportunity to look further towards the east to see the rest of the residential buildings, or you could actually try to meet up with Lanu and everybody else if you want to. What do you want to do?
Annalisa is getting really huffy because she wanted to find something cool, and there's nothing here. It's just stupid, broken dolls and a bunch of boring books and absolutely nothing that she can brag about. And she absolutely knows that when she comes back, Professor Chillin and Tucker are going to dunk on her for not finding anything. And so she's getting increasingly crabby about that.
I'm trying to hoard things as I find them.
What
Of
kind of
course.
things, Kelly?
Come on,
Like
Kelly. Come on, Kelly.
the books, additional copper wires. Hey, obviously I'm carrying around the torso already to the one doll.
Yeah, like you have the torso now, and the torso's acting like kind of like a little like plate of stuff. You just put more things in the torso to kind of like carry it around.
Yes, and I want to
Jesus.
know if any of the other players come near me, like I try to take my plate and like shield it from them.
Sure,
Okay.
you're going in and out with your audio, just so you know. But yeah. As other players come near you, you can definitely like, kind of shield your thing away. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I forgot to move down my AC a little bit.
Man, and I thought I wasn't prepared.
My AC's actually on too, so if you guys hear that, I can turn it off.
Yeah,
I
My
haven't heard
AC
anyone
is
say so.
14.
I don't have AC on.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Ew.
It's
ew.
like 50 degrees out.
Oh, that's lovely. Holy
Where
shit.
are you? You're not in Florida.
Pennsylvania?
Whoa, that's all Florida. Okay, never mind. Rad.
All right. So yeah, as people start coming towards you, you just kind of hoard your things away. Like, no, mine. And out of every doll, you kind of look around. I will say this: give me a investigation roll, real quick, Wiggs.
Okay. That is a 6.
You just noticed that some dolls have copper, some dolls don't. That's it. That's all I'll give you.
All right. Fair. You know what? I'll take it.
Fair enough. What has Ordo been doing as you guys have been investigating these past few? houses?
Well, fear not, Wiggs. Ordo is not coming near the demon tools that you have in your hands. He wants nothing to do. He wants no part of that. He is probably just bringing up the rear. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
kind of protecting the group from behind and keeping his eyes peeled for any signs of danger.
Sure.
He's not too interested in looking around and kind of investigating for any like loot drops or anything like that. He's just very uncomfortable with the situation at hand.
Give me a perception roll.
Yeah, dude, you got it. Is it based off of scent? I'm gonna ask that every single time because because the one time I don't, it'll be like, oh wait, it was. Oh come on, are you sure it's not based off scent?
I am 100% sure it's not based off set.
All right, well then that's gonna be a 7. I roll a 3, dude.
I'll say this: as you kind of wander around and you're back on the main street,
Okay.
you do realize that towards the edges of both the towns, like obviously the west edge, which you guys had entered from, seems to have been very fortified. Seems to have been a battle there, and as you got further in, there was less and less of that.
Okay.
I think you realize there is some, but you're not sure to what extent. Some damage on the east edge as well, but you're not sure to what extent.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna keep doing my thing.
All right. What is Group Annalisa doing?
So Annalisa's just going to like turn around and be like, well, have either of you found anything interesting?
No, just a lot of dead dolls.
I'm gonna like shield my plate and take it away and go no and shake my head.
Annalisa, can I do I don't know what that'd be, perception
Insight?
to see what Wiggs has?
I think I don't think Wiggs has been hiding what she's been gathering. I think she's just hoarding it to herself.
My precious.
Yeah.
Yeah, my precious.
All right.
Oh, no.
Annalisa looks at it and decides it's worthless junk and leaves it at that. And she just kind of lets out a sigh of exasperation, like, I guess we have to go where the other two went. And she
I think that's a good idea.
she sort of like marches forward, like muttering, like, of course they have the cool spots and they wouldn't tell us that we could find all the cool stuff there.
Do I hear this?
Yeah.
Do I hear her like, okay.
She's not being that quiet about it.
Upon hearing that, Ordo decides that he's going to let his guard down a little bit and just kind of look around and see if anything like really catches his attention, if possible.
Perception.
Like now that because he's not looking for enemies, he's just looking for something cool, something botanist cool. Give me a 16.
Oh, okay. So I think what you do real quickly, Ordo, as you kind of see there, you guys are headed basically down towards the center area. You kind of take a quick run to like 1 block east, essentially. To kind of see like, because once again, the thing that caught your eye the most was the remnants of damage on the east side, which your
Right.
assumption was that with the attack on the west, why would the east be harmed? The entire block on the east side, going up towards the residential area, seems to be extremely damaged. Like
Hmm.
the buildings on the furthermost east seem to have collapsed inward.
Hmm. Collapse inward, you say?
Towards the street, yes.
That's okay. Hey, you guys see this? I don't know.
See what?
This damage, these destroyed buildings.
Yes,
Isn't it
there's
weird
destroyed-
that the fortifications were all in the west? If we're seeing these buildings in the east, like I don't know. I mean, maybe that's worth exploring. Maybe we'll find something cool there.
Annalisa perks up immediately.
we
She's like,
We
well,
can
let's not stand here. Let's go investigate. And she starts leading the way.
and now that
More
Ordo
spring
sees like a renewed vigor, he immediately gets back and ready is like is just ready to fight. He's on guard again.
Annalisa, with your loud calls, I will say this. You hear from behind you, as you guys start walking there, you hear from not too far away, a door seems to open, and only, I'll say this, Ordo, because you're at the end of the group, you see only Lanu Chillin exit out of the door. And he seems to be looking around, and then he starts actually coming with you. He starts following you.
What? Where's Tuck?
I am not sure. I was hoping he was with you.
This deeply upsets Ordo. Where's the last place you saw her? Where did you leave her? Or him? Sorry, him.
As you guys are talking, actually, this is gonna be fun. I don't think Annalisa stopped skipping away. Essentially,
I mean, she probably slows. Well, she probably slows down for a moment, but then hearing that, she immediately her thought process is as follows: Tuck is not here. There's something interesting over there. Tuck is getting the scoop before I do. I must go get the scoop first.
And
Wait.
I'm following Annalisa.
Okay.
Oh God, no! This is how every horror movie starts.
We're getting more and more split.
I mean,
Or whatever. I got Lanu with me.
she's
It's
not
fine.
running. She's no,
she skipping?
she's going fast. What am I talking about? Of course she is. She's
Well,
not bolting away, but
yeah.
she is definitely rushing.
You're power walking, certainly. As Lanu as Lanu is talking to you, Ordo, he seems to wear a face of concern, but not concerned in like he thinks obviously he's injured, but more in the face that he's just like, if he keeps doing this, he's going to get injured one day. Like, obviously this has been a repeat offense of some sort, like Tucker going off without properly telling Lanu is definitely been a more of a repeat offense, shall we say. And
Right.
as you kind of look around, I guess the most you could do a perception roll or investigation roll to see if you could find like any footprints or something, or like a survival roll. But yeah.
Okay. You know what? I'll do survival.
Sounds good.
See if I can track. That's a dirty 20.
Excuse me, just sneezed. Yes. You do see footprints heading towards what used to be probably the town center.
Do they look like they would fit for Tuck?
They do.
Okay. Professor, I think these might be Tuck's front prints. How comfortable are you defending yourself if the time comes?
Oh, worry not for me. I'll certainly be fine. As he kind
Okay.
of goes, you've never seen him in action, but he's an old wizard turtle. You're assuming that he
In-
has some sort of action.
In that case, go with, or keep an eye on the other two. I'm gonna go after Tuck.
Give me a
Does that
persuasion
make
roll.
sense?
Give me a diplomacy roll.
Diplomacy. I don't have that on here. Do you want me to just do persuasion?
No, persuasion is what I used to call it. It's actually diplomacy. There should be a diplomacy roll there.
I don't have one on my.
No, in 5e it's persuasion.
Oh shit, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, persuasion roll. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay, that's a 16.
He thinks about it, and then he goes, "All right, B. Do take care. He can be a rascal." And he starts.
Worry not.
He starts walking on over towards Annalisa.
And then Ordo, with much haste, tries to follow the tracks.
It's not too much longer that you are now in front of a closed door that leads into the town hall. What do you want to do?
Close the door that leads into the town hall?
Yes.
Does it look like that's where the footsteps went?
Yes. It looks more ajar than closed. Let me put it like that.
Okay. I guess I want to, before I open this door, I want to see if can I see if it's trapped? Can I do like a perception check?
Investigation.
Or like investigate or something?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, for sure.
gotcha. Because I just that's gonna be you said investigation?
Yeah.
15.
To the best of your knowledge, it is not trapped.
Okay, I open the door. And then I'm assuming nothing happens.
Nothing happens. As
Okay,
you open the door, in front of you, you see the entryway to what seems to be a clerical area. On the right-hand side, there seems to be some reception stuff. On the left-hand side, a waiting room. And in front of you, about a dozen or so dolls huddled all together. Clearly
Okay.
standing.
Fuck. Can I see if somebody was recently through here?
Yes, go for it. Roll another investigation. The dolls have not seemed to notice you, but you can roll an investigation to kind of look at it through outside.
Excuse me?
The dolls have not seemed to have noticed you.
They can notice me? Steph, hold on.
Oh yeah, you weren't here.
I missed the first 30 minutes. I didn't know I was walking into a house full of. You know what? Fuck it. Whatever.
I said you were out. I said you were outside of the door, and in front of you, you see a dozen clearly standing dolls.
All right. We said that was a perception roll.
Investigation.
Right.
You're seeing if
Investigation roll.
Yeah.
Cool. In that case, I still rolled a 1.
Oh.
So it's a 2 instead of a 4. Fine.
You are unaware.
Oh man.
It makes sense. Here's the thing. It makes sense for Tucker to have been here because his footsteps end here essentially, but you don't see any obvious signs. Like you don't see Tucker there, so like you're not sure what happened, and you're probably not exactly comfortable going into the building itself.
Man. Oh no, I hate this. I should have been here. Oh, I can't meta now, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I can't meta game.
No, you
But
can't.
man, but now I'm terrified. So there's a group of dolls just huddled up together?
Yeah, about a dozen.
About a dozen? Holy
Yeah.
shit. Oh, Steph.
Yeah.
Creepy.
And I'm certain that this is where the tracks led.
100%.
Oh man. Okay. Oh god, I didn't expect the dolls.
Is Neville and Ordo fighting inside your brain right now?
Well, no, we're Ordo's fighting his own fears.
Oh, that's true.
Ordo is going to clutch his the locket that he has, his holy symbol.
Yeah.
And not say anything, just kind of like look down, lets out a big sigh, and steps into the building.
All right, let's switch to Annalisa and Wiggs for a bit.
Man.
Annalisa, as you
Commercial break.
Annalisa, as you start running down towards the street, or skipping, or power walking, or however you want to do it, as you start hastily making your way towards the street with the clattering and clunking of Wiggs and her looted goods behind you, you see in front of you that the street itself is as order described. The buildings seem to have fallen inwards, and as you kind of take a deeper look, underneath the building rubble seems to be a load of dolls. As you kind of take a step forward, each and every step you see more and more fragments of dolls beneath you. What do you do? And Wiggs, you are here too. What do you do?
I guess for like some of them, Annalisa kind of like tries to peek under the rubble to see if there's anything like there or if it's just broken, boring dolls.
Give me an investigation roll.
Okay, investigation. I'm rolling real high today, boys. It's a 7.
Wiggs, what are you doing?
I'm gonna keep scavenging.
Wiggs, give me a perception roll.
I'm using a dice counter online, so give me a second.
Sure, no problem, no problem.
That is a nat 20.
Oh shit. Okay.
Nice.
So Wiggs, first and foremost, you find all these dolls seem to be lacking any copper. You notice that really quickly, especially the ones in the first part of the actual block, right? They seem to be lacking any sort of copper. As you continue to go up the block a little bit, little by little, by the second building, which as you can see on the map, there's only 2 buildings before that last building on the far end. You do see that towards the second building, you see a really weird kind of indent on the side that seems to be made by something big. And you kind of see like a rushed path by whatever this big thing was. And underneath that path, you see a bunch of dolls. They just seem to be kind of trampled. What do you want to do? Do you want to continue going down following that path, or what do you want to do?
I'm going to point to the path so Annalisa knows and follow it.
As you follow the path, Annalisa, Wiggs tells you about the path. As you follow the path and you kind of trot your way up to the area, you see that the building on the left, which is the smaller square building, on the other side it seemed kind of fine. You couldn't really see through the windows as they had gathered dust and become kind of sooted over. But on the right, you see that it has completely fallen over once again, very similar to all the buildings as well on your left. And underneath the rubble, you actually see, as you kind of look around, you see a sheet of copper.
Like a whole sheet?
You see like what seems to be a sheet of copper as you're kind of scavenging around. And on your left, on your right, my apologies, you see the other building. The other building on your right is a small building that seems to have once again fallen over in a very similar way. But instead of having rubble inside the building seems to have been cleared out, cleaned, and no rubble is there. Instead, inside the building, you see dozens and dozens of copper flowers, origami flowers. What do you want to do? And are you pointing this out to Annalisa?
I'm gonna start like unloading some of the junk I have and start putting those the copper flowers onto my sheet here.
Okay. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh god, Wiggs ain't good at this. It's a 2.
Oh no. Oh no.
Wiggs,
Ordo can't be everywhere at once.
you're gonna take 3 psychic damage as you try to reach down to this flower. First and foremost, you know that it's not a spell, I will say that, but you do take 3 psychic damage as you kind of reach this flower and you get a massive migraine immediately. The copper sheet on the left-hand side is a separate thing entirely, but the ones on the right seem to be giving you a migraine for some reason. You're not sure why.
Am I able to pick up the copper sheet on the left?
You could try to. You're not sure how big it is because it's covered by rubble, but you could try to, yes.
All right, well, I'm going to start to uncover it to see how big it is.
Give me a strength roll.
Oh, she ain't good at this either.
You gotta call over Annalisa, Wiggs.
I mean, Annalisa, you are aware of where Wiggs is. She did
I
tell
got a
you she's going
6.
here.
I think
I got a 6,
Annalisa...
and I'm going to shout for Annalisa's help.
Alright, Annalisa was like kind of aware, but I don't...
Yeah.
I think since Wiggs just kind of pointed, she wasn't sure, but once she's called over, she goes and she's like, what, this? And, so what is that, a strength check? Or...
Strength check, yep.
Alright, that is a dirty 20.
Annalisa easily pulls away all the rubble and just like, what, this? Psh, pish posh. And kind of like, flunk, 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 rock after rock.
Yep.
And not much longer later, beneath you, you see a copper sheet at least 5 feet long and about 4 feet wide. It seems to have been flattened over and over, crinkled and crumpled and damaged even at parts of it. As you kind of see this massive sheet of copper. And as you kind of go down to touch it, it feels almost like paper, but clearly it is very metallic.
Okay, I'm just going to keep that torso piece I have and put that on top of the copper and attempt to pick up the copper piece.
The copper piece is 5 feet wide.
She's going to drag it behind her like a sled.
Annalisa will help her carry it. She wants to show it off to Chill and be like, look, we found something.
I will say... Oh, go on.
Wiggs is also going to point over at the flowers to Annalisa, and then I'm going to say, it makes my head hurt.
Do you not like it? Annalisa wants to go and pick one up.
Wisdom saving throw.
Is this an effect I can see?
No. You know what? Actually, hold on. Give me a quick investigation roll, and I'll determine if it is or not.
Investigation?
Yeah.
12.
No. Okay. So roll just a normal wisdom saving throw.
10.
And Elisa, you take 1 psychic damage. Your head starts to hurt too. I will say this, with that investigation roll, after you take that damage, you kind of like reel back a little bit, and not too far away from the small field of flowers, which easily goes into the dozens, you see a small, simple rectangular piece of copper just kind of sitting there.
I'm torn between what Katie wants to do and what Annalisa wants to do.
I feel that so much.
Annalisa wants to crush the flower that hurt her brain.
Yes.
Roll to hit.
Should I just... Alright. That is a 17.
You
hit. Roll for damage.
She better hit. It's a flower. Oh, it's a flower with a...
I mean, I might be able to cut her.
So that's gonna be 7 slashing damage.
You destroy the one flower, like, very easily. It just crushes beneath the weight of your great axe.
Can I collect the scraps?
Wisdom saving throw.
Oh, Jesus, from the scraps! 18.
You don't take any psychic damage, but you feel a level of remorse as you collect these.
Like a remorse of I feel the pain the flower had, or remorse of the flowers just have sadness?
Insight roll.
Oh, okay. Do we have insight? Yeah, we do. Okay. 9.
You're not sure what the remorse is towards, but you feel like there's more to these flowers, obviously. The remorse is not your own. It's the remorse of something else. Alright, let's go to Tucker. Tucker,
Hooray.
you have
Hey.
been wandering through... Actually, hold on. It might be best to do Ordo real quick. Just real quick. Sorry, Tucker.
No worries.
Ordo.
I want to know what happens to
Mhm.
Ordo too.
I also want to know what happens to Ordo. Please tell me.
Ordo,
I
you are
step into the house.
besieged. You are besieged by a dozen... No. You walk into the
I'll fight
building,
'em.
and nothing happens.
Cool. All right, Tuck, it's your turn. No. Okay, so what? Now that I'm inside the building, do I have like a better look at everything that's going on there?
Yes, you have a clear view on the left-hand side where you see some halls that seem to lead to more administration areas, obviously.
Mhm.
And you also see the dolls kind of huddled around an area. It seems to be that they're specifically around one area, kind of together. They're not seem to be spread apart, patrolling anything. They just seem to be around an area. On the right-hand side, you do see some clerical areas that seem to be like a reception desk, etc. On the left-hand side, you seem to be kind of like a waiting area where you'd probably see some coffee and biscuits and what have you while you're waiting to do something.
Okay. Are the dolls in like a particular formation? Are they like
It's
all
sloppy.
seated?
No
Okay.
formation.
Do they at least all seem to be facing like do they even seem to be facing all the same thing?
No.
Or are they okay. Okay, gotcha. And so there are two sets of hallways?
There's a hallways further down that seems to be leading towards the clerical area on the left-hand side.
Okay. There wasn't any like other rooms or stuff on the right hand side, just
The right-hand side seems to be just a reception area. Very basic.
Okay.
You go in, you walk, you talk, and then you wait, kind of deal.
Can I see if there's any like dirt tracks or anything like that to see if I might have been able to tell if
Sure. Roll
Tuck had gone a
perception.
particular way? Can I smell Tuck?
Tuck, did you
Ooh.
fart while you were in here? I don't know.
It gives me advantage. Come on. 14.
14. You do see the hole. Oh, you weren't here for that. You do see on the right-hand side that there is a hole in the floorboards from a rotten area that looks like it would fit a Tuck foot, if that makes sense.
It would fit a Tuck foot.
Yeah, it looks like someone stepped there and like their foot kind of fell down, if that makes sense. And you do see kind of like the dust kind of tracking around as well. You see that there are people who are... You see that there seems to be some movement towards that area recently.
Okay, I'm going to go down that way. I'm going to be careful with my steps because if a Tuck foot could fall through these boards, I have fear about how much of an Ordo could fall through these boards.
Sure. Are you following the footsteps?
Yeah.
The footsteps will bring you closer to the dolls.
Oh.
I'm telling you that right now. You guys, you kind of follow the footsteps a few feet. You realize they lead you almost directly to the dolls.
Oh, the footsteps weren't down the hall?
Nope. The down the hall seems to be completely ignored. The footsteps seem to be leading you towards the dolls.
Fuck. Man, and that's Ordo saying that.
Loudly?
No, God, no. No. You're not going to get him with that. Get out of here. I continue moving in the direction of the footsteps. Do they look like Tuck footsteps? Do they look like the same footsteps as outside, or do they look...
They look a little
like
bigger.
I'm able to discern that?
They look a little bigger, and you're not able to discern anything else other than that. Because, like...
But they look bigger than the footsteps from outside?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. And so, sorry, maybe I just want to make sure I heard right. The hole, like the Tuck foot sized hole.
Yes.
Was that down the hallway? Was that
was right next to the entrance? That was like 2 feet from the entrance.
Okay.
It's like you have not moved from the start. You have not gone further in than like a foot in.
Okay, and is that also? I know I'm asking a million questions. Is that the direction the foot? Is like that where the footsteps are like possibly coming from?
No, the hall on the left is far. It's not close to you. That's like you'd have to walk across the room for that. You've stepped just inside to the room. On your right hand side, you saw what looked to be like a hole that someone slipped into after breaking
Okay.
through the thing, and then the footsteps from that hole
From that hole.
go about 10 feet towards the dolls in front of you, and the dolls seem to
Okay,
be puzzling around.
that's what I was trying to get. The footsteps do come from the direction of the hole.
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, I follow the footsteps.
How close to the dolls do you get?
I am
Because they seem to pass the dolls as you get closer and closer. They don't seem to
Oh,
immediately
God.
register you, but they
Oh,
seem
God.
to be like as you're like 3 feet away from them. They don't seem to register you at all yet.
Oh God. Oh man. But the footsteps go past them.
Yes.
Fuck you, fucking madman. Oh, I'm just gonna keep going.
Give
I'm just
me a. It sounds like you and or Ordo are going to be borderline panic attacking at this point. Give me a wisdom saving
Ordo-
throw.
Yeah. I mean, it's more me than Ordo. I can say that much. But man, he's not doing well either. Oh, thank God. Wisdom saving throw?
Yeah.
Baby, get out of here. That's a 21.
You keep your cool as you start to walk through the dolls. The dolls don't seem to stop you. In fact, as you kind of touch them, they take a step back. And
Are they very obviously sentient?
they're very obviously powered by magic.
Okay. So not necessarily they're living, but they
They're powered
do
by
have magic
something.
coursing through them.
Yes.
Okay.
As
Cool.
the dolls take a few steps back, you walk forward and you see one doll has a rope in their hands. And
Can you? I need you to paint this.
Sure.
Is this doll like ropes in its hands, like blocking me from continuing forward? Like, does
No,
it look like I'm going to get tied up by a bunch of dolls?
No. The
Okay.
rope in its hand seems to be going down towards the floor, and the doll then grabs the rope further down and kind of pulls it up, and you see a small hatch in the floor open up. The hatch is probably gonna fit you, but it seems to open up the hatch for you.
Do the footsteps look like they
Yeah.
would go down that hatch and not like past it?
No, it looked like it went down that hatch. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, upon seeing the doll lift up the hatch and like, it clearly like to me sounds like it's like doing it for me.
Yeah.
Orno, he like approaches and he just as he's like getting ready to go down, he just like kind of like side eyes the doll and is just like thank you, and then just like tries to walk down. But he's doing his best to keep his cool. I can tell you that.
Yeah. You kind of jump down the hatch. The ladder there has long been broken. You kind of jump down the hatch with relative ease. As you look around, once again, there is a soft padding beneath you, and as you look around, you do clearly see signs of recent activity here. The chest seems to have been opened not too far away from you. The beds seem to have been kind of torn apart not too far away from you as well.
Okay.
And some other things around seem to have been just unsettled in general. You see that like there was a shelf completely moved, and like, do you have dark vision?
Oh God! Is this the first time? This is the first time actor that doesn't have dark vision. Oh
Do you
no.
take out a torch to see what's around?
I mean, if I can't see, yeah.
Yeah, okay, you cannot see. So you take out a torch, you light your surroundings, and you kind of see what I just described to you. And in greater detail, you see that this area seems to be some sort of bunker. There seems to have been obviously like recent activity where you saw like, for example, you saw like the wall not too far away from you seems to have been like wiped off, and dust seems to have been taken off the wall.
Okay.
As if someone was reading something there. You see that like some things have been moved aside away from that wall. You see that the beds have been like disheveled recently, as well as the chests recently being opened.
Okay. And I don't see anybody around.
Perception roll.
Fuck, 7.
You don't
Do I
see-
smell anybody around?
This I will allow you to roll for again. Yes, go for it.
Oh man. Oh man. That's. I just want to make sure I do this right. I'm pretty sure that's advantage.
Yep.
Or it's either. Yeah. Okay. I haven't rolled advantage in a long time. Wow. Oh. Okay. Dirty 20.
There was someone in here recently, and it smells a lot
Okay.
like
Okay. Is there any clear sign where they might have, which way he might have gone? Or no?
Yes. I'll say
Okay.
that you're able to tell by the remnant of his scent where he generally went for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go in that direction.
It's not too much longer later. You're eventually face to face with a door. There's a door here that kind of seems to go off into a long tunnel. You don't see anything else out there, but you do see the tunnel going down for what seems to be quite a distance. Do you want to go down it?
I whisper out, Tuck, but like a loud whisper, you know. But I don't know how that'll carry over on Discord. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I would say this. By this point, Tuck's probably a little further away in this tunnel.
Okay.
So no.
Okay, then I will continue down the tunnel.
Are you gonna walk or just hurry up? Like, what are you doing?
Oh, I was like, if you want me to fly, like I don't walk.
Yeah, Emmanuel. No, I'm just saying. Are you like running down the tunnel? Or are you walking? Down the
I'm
tunnel?
definitely not running.
Okay.
I would say I'm walking with a purpose, but not like I'm not speed walking. You know, like it's like very determined.
Sure. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, and I'm gonna get back to that. All right. But yeah.
Oh
okay,
my god.
Can I just say that Tuck has the kiwi ointment, so Ordo just gets a whiff of kiwi
You guys,
down the hall.
I agree. We need to make sense for everybody.
I don't know anything about scents, but maybe Annalisa smells like grapes and cinnamon.
I would
that's it.
assume so.
That's
That
cute.
sounds right. I would assume so. I wouldn't assume so. I just because that means like I brought it up first. No, yeah, that makes sense.
Tuck smells like the outside. He just smells like grass and dirt and mud.
Huh. What would Ordo smell like? I don't know. Would it matter what Ordo smells like? I guess he'd do it too. I guess I should do it too. He smells like God.
Wow.
I mean, it's just my connection
That's
with
actually a pretty
the
good
Holy
idea.
Spirit.
If we all smelled like kiwi, you would know the kiwi scent would lead you to us.
But it should be kiwi with like hints of something else, so there might be like a little bit more of a discerning.
I mean, who actually used the kiwi stuff? I know Ordo has the shampoo.
Tuck has the ointment
Lanu,
on him.
Tuck has the
Lanu
ointment.
has the ointment as well, right?
I mean, we
So-
don't necessarily have to bathe in it. We could just keep like a sample on us to where it could perfume.
All right, so
Ooh.
Annalisa and Wiggs still need kiwi scents to identify them.
Yeah, he can't really smell strange.
Next time Waffles comes to town. You heard it first, guys. Submit your items, kiwi scented.
Oh, are we still live?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Are we?
Did you think
Hey,
this was
chat, how's it going? Yo, let's get some kiwi popes in the chat.
Kiwi popes. Hell yeah.
No, don't.
We need some more kiwi
Whenever I
popes in the
Whenever I spam an icon, it always like goes to the next icon. It's really annoying.
Are you spamming the icons right now?
Yeah.
You got it.
Steph, are we still live?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got Well, did
It'll be a fun little discovery for
You don't
Steph
have
to
to- you
figure
don't-
out what we were talking about.
Just watch the VOD.
Great. I will put a marker here to come see what you guys are talking about later.
All right, Steph. Tell me what
Tucker.
happened. Lay it on me.
Weave us a
Oh,
tale.
God. Lay it on Tucker then.
Tucker, as you kind of reach the end of this tunnel, you see a hatch above you and a very clear ladder. The ladder itself has once again rotted away, but it's not. You assume with some acrobatic finesse, you might be able to make your way up there.
Tuck is going to acrobatic finesse
Roll
his
some
way
acrobatic.
up. That's a 12.
You try, and you do get up there, but getting the latch to open is a lot harder. The latch itself seems to, for whatever reason, it seems heavier than it's supposed to be. And for the next couple minutes, you try over and over again to like push it up, get it up, going, but you can't. But after a few minutes, you do see not too far away, well, plenty far away, but enough to see it. You do see a light coming towards you from the far end of the tunnel.
Side note, Tuck has a -2 in strength, so this makes sense. Tuck is going to hide.
In a tunnel.
He's gonna press his body like all the way, like
stealth.
yeah, he's gonna hide in a tunnel.
Roll stealth.
Oh no. 7.
Don't worry, I'm gonna get like a 6 perception.
Or you use your passive perception, or you can roll perception, your choice.
No, I'm cool using my passive perception. I think that makes up for it.
Are you sure you don't want to roll a 2?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'll take my 14 instead.
Okay. You kind of see Tucker kind of like he's trying to flat himself against the wall real quick. And you see him after you kind of get closer. Like at first you don't see him at all. You do see the end of the tunnel, and you're just kind of like, where the hell did Tucker go? And then you kind of see like Tucker like against the wall, like I'm trying to hide.
Have you seen that person groove?
Yes, exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
But
Tuck, is that you?
Ordo? What are you doing here?
I ran into Lanu and he didn't know where you were, and I got worried, and I just wanted to make sure that nothing happened to you. And then these dolls, did one of those dolls lift like a trapdoor for you too?
But that doll picked me up like a freaking baby and threw me down a hole.
What? Wait, what? What I missed?
He picked me up, Ordo.
He did not pick me up.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine he didn't.
Are you okay though? Is like you're not hurt or anything, right?
What? No, of course not. And
I'm sorry. I know you can handle yourself. It's just I worry. You'll know when you're older.
Tucker smiles at him and he just pats his shoulder and he's like, "You don't got to worry about me, big guy. But I'm glad you're okay too." Wait, where's Annalisa and Wiggs?
They went ahead. I was going to go with them. Also, between you and me, I think Annalisa's trying to be cooler than you right now. I think she's worried that you're gonna find something cooler than she can find. I think it would be like super cool if you find something cooler than whatever she has, you try to keep it on the down low. Just I know you two have your things, and I'm not gonna try to act like I understand this at all. But I worry. I just look.
I
Tuck
thought you're the dad of the group.
Tuck kind of leans in and he's going to say, like, between you and me, Ordo, I don't really get it either. She's been more pissed than usual at me lately, and I'm not really sure why.
I don't know if I could properly explain it to you, but I know that there's at least a reason. I think I hope that wasn't metagaming. I feel like Ordo would have picked up on this by now. Just she's not used to being out here, okay? You know that? Like she's not used to the wild world, as it were. So just it's a learning process. It's a learning process for a lot of us.
Do you think it's because I put slime in her shampoo?
You did what? Oh my!
It didn't hurt her.
You didn't tell me.
Bad.
You didn't tell me this. Let's just get out of here. I want no part of that one. Just you too.
I mean, there's an exit out here. I can't get it open though.
How high up is it?
You should be able to reach it with relative ease. Like your ears are definitely dragging on the roof, kind of deal.
Okay, or I'm just gonna try to push it open.
Strength roll.
You know, well, yeah, okay, all right. My strength's all right. Well, my rolls aren't. That's a 6.
That's fine. You needed to beat a 5. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So, I will say this though. As you kind of push it open, you push it open in a way that eventually it just kind of collapses under the pressure, and a bunch of dirt kind of falls on top of both of you. It's not a lot. Okay. It's a very thin layer of like topsoil. Just kind of falls on both of you. It gets in your hair and it gets on your elephant head and like the few hairs that are on there. But you guys close your eyes quickly enough that nothing like really gets in your eyes, or you can just like wash out with water real quick, kind of deal.
Gotcha.
But you do see on top, there's just the open sky.
I think this leads to the outside.
Oh, nice one, Ordo. And Tucker holds up his hand for a high five.
Ordo very happily high fives Tuck. Just with not with a lot of force because he knows better, but just with a lot of vigor. Like he's really excited for this.
Tuck does it with force, but it's not a lot because it's naturally just more acrobatic than strong. And he's gonna look to Ordo and he's going to say, watch this. And he's gonna try and do acrobatics again, but like in a really cool parkour way.
Roll acrobatics.
23.
Hardcore parkour, dude. You kind of go up, you jump on one side, and it's just like you grab onto the top, and then you like do like a kind of like a jump back that you don't even need to grab onto the side. In fact, you just kind of like you grab onto the side, your hands are outside. You jump back, and as you turn around, you kind of like somersault your way onto ground outwards, and it's like super fucking cool.
Hell yeah!
Hashtag skater boy.
Or just like clap, like he sticks his hands up outside of the trap and just claps them, so he sees the hand, or so he sees the hands.
Tuck does a fist bump and then bows.
Hell yeah! Am I able to just like pull myself out of this, or
yeah, you can pull yourself out.
Okay.
For you, it's not that bad. You just kind of like alley-oop.
Gotcha.
You alley-oop your way out, and both of you kind of realize you're not far out of town, but you are actually out of town on the east side.
Tuck.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, Tuck is going to turn to Ordo and he's going to say, that little space that you came through, I think that it was some kind of bunker that someone important, possibly a town leader, used to help people escape during the Clemening. I found markings and letters that indicated that this may have been an escape route.
Well, let's hope it worked for a lot of people. I don't trust these dolls though, and I don't want to leave the rest of the people behind for too long.
I mean, they don't seem hostile. Did any of them try to hurt you?
Well, you said one of them threw you.
Well, he picked me up and dropped me, but the ground was padded. I didn't get hurt or anything.
I don't know. I just shivers. I don't like dolls.
Why not?
You'll understand when you're older, okay? Let's go get to everybody.
I'm
And,
17.
just yeah. And like I said, when you're older, hey,
Tuck
they're
roll
just
size.
they're creepy looking. Okay, they're just very creepy looking, and it just doesn't sit right with me.
I mean, I don't blame you. Those dolls were Clem's dolls. So we know that, right? They were Clem's dolls.
Yeah, you know that.
They did destroy the town, so I don't blame
Why
you
would
for
they be
thinking they're.
helpful? Why would they be helpful if they destroyed the town?
I mean, that's what I'm saying is I get why you think they're creepy, but it's kind of weird that they're not attacking us when theoretically that's their purpose here.
Then we should go report this to Lanu and the others, and
All right.
and
Yeah.
see what they found.
Yeah.
You guys start heading back towards the town, which is not too much of a thing. I think you guys are going there kind of post haste. You're not going slowly per se. So we'll switch back to Annalisa and Wiggs for a moment. Annalisa and Wiggs, as you kind of gather, as Wiggs kind of gathers up this doll, you hear a soft tapping behind you, and as you look behind, you see Lanu kind of coming up with his cane. It's a little harder for him because it's so much rubble. He's trying to he's trying to stay stable with the cane, and he's finding his way across for sure. But he goes, "So, what have you found here?"
Well, we found this very large copper sheet and these flowers that hurt you if you touch them.
And these flowers that hurt your brain.
I'm gonna start feeling out paranoia. Like, we found these things, and the things hurt you, and the copper's like in the dolls, and the dolls are with this copper, and I'm just gonna keep repeating those same things.
Mm-hmm. Lanu kind of goes to see the giant copper sheet first. And
while he does that, Annalisa kind of like puts a hand on Wiggs like, all right, we get it. Like,
She needed that.
and he kind of like seems to mess around with it a little bit. Like he moves it up and down with his hand with great ease. It seems to act just like paper, like a sheet of basically like cloth of some sort. And then he looks towards the flowers, and he kind of touches one, and he kind of pulls back immediately, and he's just like, "Oh, this is interesting."
Annalisa pops up and is like, yes, it is. She found her interesting thing. She's won. She's won forever.
Forever.
All right.
Forever and ever.
He looks there.
No one can take this victory from her.
He looks at the area, and he kind of nods after a second, and he goes, "All right, Annalisa, you seem to have found something very interesting. Give me a hypothesis. What do you believe it is?"
She kind of looks at it and at the sheet.
I'll re-describe the scene to you as well.
No, I remember.
Okay, just making sure. Okay.
I remember.
Katie's hypothesis is different from
Annalisa's.
Annalisa's -1 wisdom. And she goes, it is made of copper.
Can I use message
You
and
can.
point at her and like help her out?
I'm pretty sure message has a somatic and a verbal component, but you could do that for sure. Is
Okay,
message a
it
level
says I
1
have to-
spell?
It says I just have to point my finger toward a creature within range and whisper a message.
Now, is it a level 1 spell?
It's a cantrip.
Okay, then yes, you could do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna point my finger at Annalisa and let her know that she should mention that the copper that we found is similar to the dolls that we have found, and there might be a connection to why our heads hurt.
Annalisa, you hear this weird voice in your head saying all that. Unexpectedly.
Annalisa kind of like jumps a little, but she probably like recognizes it. So she kind of like looks at Wiggs and is like, and also, it seems to be tied to the dolls that because the dolls had them.
I think that's actually a pretty good job.
You don't sound too sure of yourself, but that is a very good connection to make. Very good connection to make, Annalisa.
Thank you.
But what do you think of this field of flowers?
Well, it's very irritating. I mean, why would you make flowers hurt someone?
Well, there
Allergy.
are many a flower that will hurt you, to be fair.
Yes, but these are they're so pretty. They're basically begging to be picked.
He hums a little bit and he goes, "That is certainly one way of looking at it."
That's pretty like a real thought process of it.
I think we may need to wait for our more divine friend to find out a little bit more.
Divine.
Well, Ordo is a cleric. He
No, I
practices.
guess that. I just don't get what God has to do with this.
Hey, God has to do everything, okay?
That's Ordo's entrance.
Kicks down the door,
Ordo,
picks up a random doll, throws it against the wall. How dare you? That's absolutely not how Ordo would enter.
yeah.
Ordo just busts through the wall of the city like, hey!
Boom! Lanu goes, well, gather what you will. We will wait for him, hopefully at the entrance. I think he went into a building not too far away.
Well, then shouldn't we go to the building?
Well, yes, for the entrance of the building. Excuse me, you didn't see him go in. The entrance of the building, yes. My apologies. And he starts turning around and walking away. Slowly, of course. He's a lot slower than you nimble folk are.
Annalisa huffs and picks up the copper thingy to rub into Tucker's face and, and starts heading after Lanu.
Wiggs? Are you carrying that flower with you still?
Yeah, the scraps of it, definitely.
As you guys wander towards the main street, I will say this. Ordo and Tucker.
Tucker.
I was gonna see how long it would
Ordo
take.
and some other guy.
Ordo and someone else was mentioned only 5 minutes ago by
Ordo et al.
He's dead already.
Ordo et al. Yes. No. As you guys start wandering towards it, you guys wait a few minutes outside the. You guys wait a few minutes, or you guys actually go rather slowly because once again, Lanu's not exactly running. And I'm assuming that is anyone helping him walk through the rubble, or are they just like, nah, you're on your own, bud?
Oh my god.
I mean, Annalisa's hands are full, but if is like how badly is he struggling? Like, is it like super obvious?
I
or
would
is
say
it
it's
just,
not
like...
super obvious, but he does have a cane, and he definitely is leaning on the cane, but it's definitely not super obvious.
Then she doesn't help if it's not super obvious.
Fair enough. Wiggs, I'm assuming no as well.
Repeat that one more time.
Are you gonna help Lanu walk properly? Because he's walking over rubble, and his legs have been pretty badly hurt.
Yeah, I kind of like help in the front though, more of like paving the path.
Okay, yeah. So you kind of like use like a mage hand or something to kind of like make it a little smoother for him, kind of deal, right?
Yes.
Cool. All right. As you do that, Lanu thanks you, and you guys start walking forward. It still takes a little while, and as you guys start getting towards the main street, Ordo and Tucker, you see your party just leaving the street area they had just come out of. You're still like a little far off, but you could probably shout to them and say, "Hey, we're here," kind of deal. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Ordo shouts like, "Friends!" That's it.
Annalisa turns to look at them.
Tuck is going to rush toward Lanu.
Ordo will rush over to the party as well.
As you rush towards Lanu kind of seems to wait for you. Kind of puts his hands in front of him on his cane, and as you get closer, he like holds the cane from like midway and bonks your head. It's like boom. Like it definitely doesn't hurt, but like it's definitely a bonk on your head.
You got
for
bonked.
sure. You got bonked.
It doesn't
Annalisa
hurt, but Tuck is going to say ow, like really dramatically anyway.
Annalisa snorts.
And he
What was
goes,
that for?
"For separating from the group. Had it not been for Ordo, or perhaps luck, you may have been in more danger."
Yeah. But listen, Professor, I
He
found
bonks you
something.
again. The moment you're sarcastic, he bonks you again, and he goes, "What did you find?"
There are still active dolls in this town.
Ordo shivers.
He raises an eyebrow. Lana raises an eyebrow. I don't know what happens with Annalisa and everybody else.
Annalisa was getting ready to shove this thing in his face, but I think that actually surprises her.
When I'll let Tuck tell his story, but I'll just mention when I walked into what I could assume is the town hall. There was a number of them, about a dozen or so, I believe is what I counted. Right? That's what I counted.
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
about right.
Were dolls
they
congregating.
hostile?
No.
You
In
seem
fact,
unharmed.
I actually, as I approached them, they kind of started moving out of the way. And then one of them held a rope connected to a hatch on the floor, and pulled up, opened up a trap door for me, and while he didn't gesture, it felt like he was just kind of like inviting me into an underground tunnel.
Lana
Yeah,
seems to be thinking about it for sure.
The weird thing is when the dolls, when they saw me, they picked me up and put me into the same tunnel too. After I looked around, it seemed like a tunnel that might have been made by someone important, perhaps the leader of the town, and it was used to hide refugees or people of the town after they were attacked. And the tunnels lead outside of the town, so we're assuming that it might have been an escape route, which is weird that the dolls know about it, and weird that they seemed to be helping us, considering they were here to destroy things.
I don't get why they'd be so helpful. It seems like, well, I feel like Ordo could piece this together, at least the way that I'm thinking of it.
Sure.
It with this tunnel being like an escape route, and it seems like that these dolls put Tuck into the tunnels and provided me passage into the tunnels. And when we went through, we realized it was an escape route, an escape out of town. So it feels like these dolls are may have been used in the war or at least sometime thereafter, to help people rather than harm. And I don't know if that's true, but that's what I think. It's just a theory, a fantasy cool theory. Thanks for watching.
Wiggs heard this theory, and Wiggs is going to ask Neville. Oh, not Neville. Ordo. Sorry. So, Ordo, do you think if we were to capture one of these dolls to see if it has the same, the same, the same runes inscribed onto it, and see if it's made with hay or copper, to be able to help prove your theory?
You know what? Give Ordo a second to answer that because Neville just had food delivered. Sorry.
Ooh, share some, please.
I will.
Tucker, I will say this. You did realize that the dolls in the area did have copper wiring go through it.
Yeah, and we did know that some dolls don't have copper wire and some dolls do. Tucker has a theory, but he's not going to say anything.
Are people mentioning the copper wires? Or the copper?
Besides Wiggs, I don't think Tucker has yet, because Tucker's going to keep the theory to himself, it sounds like. Ordo kind of nods along with Wiggs' theory and says, the copper may be a little more important than we originally thought.
Annalise is going to be like, maybe. I don't know why some copper would supposedly make things helpful and some would just make flowers that would hurt you.
Flowers that would hurt you?
Flowers that would hurt you.
Like allergies?
No.
I'm going to throw dust in the air and say magic.
Can Tuck make a history check to see if copper is specifically copper origami or copper flowers, if they're anything that he's heard of?
Go for it. Roll for history.
Well, that's an 8.
No. You do not. Nothing off the top of your head.
Oh. Sorry, I just thought of an interesting knowledge roll.
Sure.
That would I be able to do this one now?
Sure.
Or later on? Sure. Okay. With the Clemening and everything that happened with that, is Ordo aware of any religious groups or cult followings that were kind of made to to follow Clem in his
This is a clear no. This is a clear no for sure.
Clear no? Okay.
No.
Okay, cool.
The Clemening was essentially a indiscriminate battle of just Clem versus the world.
Oh, okay, cool.
He didn't have any sidekicks or anything. It was just Clem, his power with the dolls versus everyone.
And absolutely nobody ended up
Not to the best of any history known.
Okay, cool.
I will say this. That's all you know. So Lana goes, okay, I believe we have 2 options. We can learn more about the dolls, which may be, of course, a little dangerous, or we could take a look at those flowers again. I believe you may have more insight on them, Ordo.
Well, I would definitely, personally, rather examine flowers than Clem dolls.
Yes, let's go investigate what I found.
Tuck is going to look at Annalisa and say, "You found it?"
Well, Wiggs found it, but I was there.
Tuck is going to say, "Oh, very cool."
Annalisa is going to like blink because she was not expecting Tucker of all people to say that.
God, this sounds like a really awkward high school drama.
She's gonna look very befuddled.
As you guys walk back towards the flowers, you see the path that was somewhat cleared by Wiggs, and Tucker, I'm assuming you're helping Lanu walk clearly.
Yeah.
Eventually, you guys come across these sets of flowers, and on the right-hand side in the building has been clearly cleared out. You see at least a couple dozen flowers, and surrounding a small copper square or rectangle.
I'm gonna make sure that I can cast this as a ritual because I don't want to use up a spell slot.
Sure.
Yeah. Can I cast a detect magic on?
Yeah.
That area.
Yeah.
Cool.
You do your ritual, and it's not much. You don't detect a spell. Let me put it like that. And you don't quite detect like arcane magic or nature magic. You do detect a form of divine magic in terms of it almost feels haunted. And it feels sad. And I think at that point in moment, you kind of recognize the rectangle in the middle is kind of a plaque.
A plaque?
Yes, it doesn't have anything written on it, but I think you kind of recognize the thing in the area is a plaque. Or is meant to be a plaque.
Is it like a gravesite?
It is safe to assume that.
I relay that information to everybody.
Annalisa looks at the spot where she crushed the copper flower and doesn't say anything.
Tuck goes to look at the plaque.
Tuck, as you kind of take a look in, avoiding the flowers physically, the plaque doesn't seem to have anything inscribed on it. In fact, you clearly see it's made out of the same copper paper everything else is made around here. But it doesn't have anything there. It seems just simply be a memorial.
Tuck is going to solemnly bow his head, and he is going to take his origami dog out that he found, and he's going to lay it next to the plaque.
Okay.
After Tuck does that, Ordo recites like a standard goodwill in the afterlife prayer, I guess, to whoever it might have been made for.
Like you're trying to let the spirit kind of pass, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Give me a spell attack roll, but like you're not attacking anything, obviously.
Right. What do I add? Someday I'll have this memorized. I don't even. Where? Sorry.
It should be down by your spells.
Yeah, that was the last place I decided to look, was actually at my spell. All right, that's going to be an 18.
You kind of recite a thing, and you kind of like dab some holy water kind of around the area. And you kind of see the flowers start to a little bit, right?
When you say psh, do you mean like release like pollen or like?
No, sorry, I was doing it physically too, kind of like sway in the windish.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like swing in the wind.
Very anime.
Yeah, very, very anime. And the dog seems to kind of stand up for a moment. It's a small dog, like maybe like 2 inches by 2 inches kind of deal. The dog seems to kind of stand up for a moment, and the dog. I almost said doll.
Dude.
The dog goes, did we win?
What?
The dog repeats, did we win?
Tuck.
I got nothing.
Tuck looks down at the dog, and he's going to say, Clem was defeated.
I'm gonna pet the dog.
Before you, it doesn't seem to register Clem was defeated, but or at least not to your immediate knowledge. It doesn't seem to respond to that. And then it goes, did they leave? Did they get out?
Some of them, yeah.
And then it repeats, did they leave? Did they get out?
Who is they? Who are they? Sorry. Does it respond?
And then it repeats, did they leave? Did they get out?
They they left. That's what Ordo says.
The dog goes flat. And the surrounding environment seems to go flat as well.
What do you mean?
The flowers fall from where they're once proud standing. And the dog kind of falls over flat. Not quite on its face, but like at a weird angle because, there's grass and everything kind of growing up. But the bronze flowers do end up falling as well, except for one that just seems to stand up right behind what the plaque was.
Tuck is going to frown, and he's going to say, well, that solves that mystery.
I don't think it does. I don't know. Does it... If I have to do detect magic again, that's fine.
Yeah.
Does it still feel like there's like a spiritual energy almost there?
No.
Okay.
Tuck is going to look at Ordo, and he's going to say, I don't think that the dolls that had the copper wire in them are going to be animate anymore.
I cannot believe I'm saying this. Neville cannot believe he's saying this. Should we go check?
Tuck seems a little bit upset, and he's going to say, you can go check if you want to, but I'm pretty sure in my theory.
Annalisa puts down the copper that she's been carrying around and says, I'll go with you.
We're not splitting up again. This is not happening. We are not splitting up. I refuse. I will hug all of you and make sure you guys stay together. We are not splitting up.
I mean, I'll go check on the clay dolls as well.
Tuck, would you come along with us? It's not because I don't trust you. It's that these things really freak me out, and I won't be able to sleep if I don't know.
All right. But before Tuck leaves, can he investigate the plaque again if anything about it has changed, or if he can see a name anywhere?
Give me an investigation roll.
14.
The plaque seems to shine a little brighter, but other than that, nothing.
he lets out a sigh and he says, "Yeah, I'll come." And he'll follow behind the group, a little bit deflated.
As the 5 of you make your way towards the building again, the door was left open from the last time that Ordo had entered. The scene you guys see in front of you is very different from what you last saw. In fact, the last thing you saw was 12 dolls obviously standing together in a group. Now you see
20 dolls armed with knives.
Everyone has a knife. They're all running to shank you. No, you see fewer dolls, and you see the trap door is open. But you see fewer dolls.
How many fewer?
I'm gonna say like 3 or 4 fewer.
I guess Ordo is gonna walk up to one of the nearest dolls and start checking for if there are any of the ones that have like the copper.
All of them.
All of them do?
Yes.
Are they still standing?
Nope, they are fallen down.
But 3 or 4 of them are missing?
Yes.
I don't like that.
And the trapdoor is open.
Oh no. Oh no. Was just if out of curiosity, is one of the ones that's around the one that was holding the rope?
I don't that they weren't significantly different enough for I think you to recognize if like one had a slightly like longer arm or whatever. So I don't think.
Right. Yeah. That's what I figured. Gotcha.
Tuck is gonna jump down the hole.
Tuck. Ordo follows. And beckons to everybody else just.
Annalisa kind of like silently shoos Ordo like out of the way. Like she doesn't want anyone like below her when she jumps, and she jumps in.
Wiggs is gonna peer in at first.
And Lanu's gonna stay out because of his leg. So he's just gonna kind of peer out here with.
So he's just gonna stand in a room full of, well, no longer standing dolls, but with 3 dolls on the loose.
Yeah.
He's just gonna be on his own.
Wiggs is just peering in.
Oh, right, that's true.
As you guys look in, who has dark vision again? I think it's Annalisa and.
No, I don't think Annalisa does.
Okay.
I think only Tucker has dark vision between.
Amazing.
I do.
Well,
you changed. Yeah.
Wiggs, as you look in, you're able to see this too. Before Ordo lights up the light for Annalisa and him to look around. You see 2 dolls that just seem to have fallen down and kind of shattered on the way down. The pieces of the arms and the legs and the chest kind of go everywhere around, kind of scatter around. And you see one last doll kind of standing in the middle of the room.
Oh, fuck.
Tuck was when he saw when he saw the shatter dolls, he was going to look at Ordo and be all like, "Are you satisfied now?" But seeing the final doll standing, he squints and he's going to look for any visible copper in the doll.
Yeah, there's copper in the doll.
Tuck is going to walk up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still magically imbued?
It is currently standing, so you could assume yes.
Can you talk?
It doesn't seem to respond.
Tuck waves his palm in front of its face.
It doesn't seem to respond.
Tuck looks to Ordo and he says, "I think this one's different from the other ones."
Well, it is still standing. That's concerning. Oh man. Oh man.
I
Can
don't
do
want
that?
to attack it because I don't want it to think we're hostile toward it.
Annalisa pipes up and says, "Can you pray to it again?"
I guess I could. Ordo recites the same prayer from earlier.
Give me the same roll.
What was that again?
Just you adding your spell attack modifier, but just so you channel
Gotcha.
energy. Yeah.
19.
As you do it, it falls.
Okay.
It unceremoniously just falls.
Man. That's honestly, I was expecting you to get attacked. I wasn't expecting for things to look like they're going our way.
Tuck is going to investigate the doll to see if there's anything on it or any special symbols or markings on it.
Investigation roll.
14.
There's no special markings or symbols on it, no.
Is it holding anything or wearing anything different or...
I will say you saw it looking down the corridor you guys exited off from not too long ago.
Tuck is going to look at it sadly and turn back to the group and be like, I guess they did their jobs.
I guess I don't know if it's like obvious and it just feels like a whoa thing to me, or if it's like super far out there. But it feels like the souls were placed in the bodies of these dolls. I want to go see if when we make our way out of here, I want to go see if that other flower also fell flat.
Sure.
Cool. I know that we have to get out of here first, but I now have something I really want to see.
Tuck is going to turn to Annalisa and he's going to say, what do you think happened?
Annalisa is going to sort of stare at the fallen doll, and she's going to say, I think what happened is this place didn't have good barrel protection. And so, since it didn't have someone like my grandmother, someone else had to be that type of person. Only, I don't know if they made it.
Yeah, I mean, they stuck around to make sure everyone else did, though, as much as they could.
I think they made it in the end, though. Maybe not in the end of their mortal life. But
Does
I think
Wiggs hear this peering in?
Yeah, Wiggs, you hear everything. You're not that far away.
I really want to go see the flower just to confirm my theory.
Yeah, I think we can all say we kind of pop on over there.
You guys climb out with a little help from, Ordo kind of picking you guys up and pushing you out, basically. Because it's
Does
a little
Annalisa
high.
allow that?
Surprisingly, yes. She
Okay.
allows that. She's been a little quiet during this.
As you guys go back to check on the flower, not too far away, you do see it is down, and the copper starts degrading. The copper has started degrading.
The spirits of the people that lived here wound their way up into the dolls. And that's why those dolls were willing to help us escape, Tuck. I say that with utmost certainty, even though Ordo's certain, but Neville's not.
Tuck is going to turn to Ordo, and he's going to say, "Yeah, I think that's probably the case, but it might have been just one person who was using their magic to combat or animate the dolls to help. I don't know if
I
it's
guess that actually, that does make a lot of sense too. Shit.
It's okay, Tuck has a higher intelligence.
Wiggs is taking notes.
But I'm wise. I'm so wise, dang it.
What is Wiggs doing?
Wiggs is taking notes.
Okay.
Taking notes.
Tuck is not taking notes for once.
Professor, what do you think this might have all been?
He kind of goes, well, I think I agree with you. It seems that there was one person, or perhaps multiple. I don't think we have conclusive evidence for either or. That attempted to help people evacuate and somehow hijack the dolls with copper. A very interesting find. And he starts kind of he starts kind of walking away. I think he kind of has the data he needs. Is kind of what is going at. He's been at this quite a bit. You assume he found kind of the important stuff, and he goes, I believe the donkeys will be waiting for us. As he starts kind of walking his way over to the western exits.
If there's nothing else going on, Annalise is gonna kind of just quietly follow behind.
I think Ordo would also follow.
Wiggs, Tuck?
Tuck kind of lingers. Oh, sorry.
I would follow, but I'd follow behind everyone.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to linger with Tuck for a second. Got you.
Tuck kind of lingers, and he looks at Wiggs, and he's going to say, do you ever remember anything like this happening?
To me?
Yes, to Wiggs, since she's
Oh,
lingering.
I didn't hear the to Wiggs part. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what? I don't know.
Of course not. Of course not. Of course Wiggs doesn't know.
I know nothing.
Tuck is going to raise his brow, and he's going to say, do you know if you have family or anybody alive still waiting for you for after you get your memories back?
I have no idea. I only know my age.
I'm sorry. That really sucks.
Has she ever said her age?
I don't think so.
She has not said it, no.
Oh. How old are you?
Mind you, I'm disguised as a young human. And I'm sorry to tell you, I'm 82 years old.
Wait, so she says that she's disguised as a young human. She says that out loud?
No, she says, mind you, I am disguised as a human, and Wiggs is ready to tell you, I am 82 years old.
Yeah, but Tuck knows that she's lying about being a young human already. He just saw she was an elf.
But no one believes you.
I know, that's why he's like that one It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme with like different
I mean,
conspiracies.
Annalisa also noticed. She just noticed separately from Tucker on a delay because she doesn't
I don't
live
think
at.
Ordo noticed.
Tuck is going to say, so theoretically speaking, you were alive when all of this happened.
Yes, I know of the clemening, but I also don't remember anything.
I mean, the weird thing is that you knew all of that stuff about magic, though. You knew all of your spells, and you knew about the magic. Noelle forgets what they're called, the ports or whatever.
The mana points, yeah.
The mana points. And you knew a lot about the mana points, so it's weird how your amnesia is kind of selective, I guess.
I think my body chooses to remember things that will help protect me.
So you think your amnesia is trauma-based?
Sure.
You don't sound pretty confident in that.
I'm really not.
You know, there are a lot of ways that someone can lose their memory. It could be because of trauma, it could be because of a spell. You don't have any kind of idea or sense of what the root cause might be?
No, but what I do know is that there are things watching me and that there's things happening and I have to constantly be looking over my shoulder.
What kind of things?
I do not know.
I think there might have been something after you before you lost your memory, and maybe that is still lingering.
I hope not.
Well, I'll try and keep an eye out for anything watching you, and I'm sorry about the whole sneaking into your room thing. That it really wasn't anything personal. There was this crazy guy in the inn who said that maybe you were the slime mancer, so I just kind of wanted to make sure that you weren't mancing any slime. It's kind of stupid in hindsight, but you know, you gotta check those things just to make sure.
I think in a way Wiggs respects that because she's paranoid as hell.
So yeah, sorry about that, Wiggs. I try not to get into your stuff anymore, and I'll keep an eye out for anything watching us with you.
I'd appreciate that, but I also understand why you did it now.
Yeah. Tuck seems to get a little bit embarrassed, and he says we should catch up with the others. And he walks.
I'm gonna linger behind again.
Wait, you linger behind. What for?
Just because I don't want anyone like behind me,
Okay.
so I don't have to watch over my shoulder as much.
Got you. All right. All right. You guys talked for a little while, so like a few blocks away, at this point, Lanu and Ordo and Annalisa are starting to get towards the end of the main road, and most of the barricades are in the way. And Lanu goes, "Annalisa, Ordo, may I ask you to move the barricades for me? I apologize, I would not be useful here."
Absolutely.
Annalisa nods and walks forward to help remove the barricades.
And you guys take a few minutes to move the barricades, and it's not much longer later that you guys have now a easily walkable path for both Loxodon and non-Loxodon alike. And
That's right. Everything is either a loxodon or not a loxodon.
Yeah,
that is now your basic reference.
Especially for Ordo, yes. And Lanu kind of starts walking up to the donkeys and gives them a gentle pet behind the like a little scritch on the back of the ear kind of deal. And he looks at Annalisa for a moment, and he goes up to Annalisa, and as everyone's kind of doing their thing, he goes up to Annalisa, and he goes, "How was your first excursion?"
She kind of looks up and takes a moment to think it over. And she simply says, "Not great."
Yep, that sounds right. And he kind of gives you a pat on the back before he goes into the cart himself. He seems to be looking around, and he does actually give you. It's a smaller jar for sure, more of a personalized jar of actual good barrel jam, not like the
Insight.
Go for it.
9.
It's actual good barrel jam, to the best of your knowledge. And he goes, "Many more excursions will be similar. You may not be in physical danger every time, but you need the strength here." And he taps his chest. "And here." And he taps his head. And he goes, "You will learn this slowly, as many others around us are learning as well." And he starts to prep the caravan to like go. At this point, he's kind of getting ready to like he's taking the stake out for the donkeys and making sure that they're their bridles starting to put in, so they're ready to be kind of leading the pack, shall we say.
Alright. Annalisa kind of just looks at the grape jam in her hand, just kind of slides it onto the cart. She's not exactly very hungry right now.
Mm-hmm.
And she sort of climbs onto the cart, and while waiting for everyone to sort of catch up or what have you, she kind of like goes through her bag of holding, like checking like she got, I think, like some jewelry from there. It feels so stupid now. She pulls out that painting of Neslin, the god of communication, kind of just sets that behind her. Well, and you know, she kind of pulls out a handkerchief.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll for it?
Yeah, go ahead. 1d10.
10.
Let me roll. Oh. Okay. Yes.
I mean, you should take.
I wanted to see basically. If we got the same number, you would pull up the same one. Yeah, we got the same number. I did roll.
What?
I rolled a 10.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Hell yeah.
Because I put up the photo of Neslin.
Yeah, you do see the handkerchief with the embroidery on it.
She just got it out to like sort of like, wipe off her hands. She's been touching some dirty stuff, but she sort of catches that and kind of just like stares at it and kind of quietly sighs as she like wipes her hands off and puts it back into the bag of holding. And she just sort of curls up, knees to her chest, arms on her knees, and just kind of I guess stares at the town.
It's not much long later that Tucker joins in the group, and then maybe a minute or two after that, Wiggs. You guys see that the town has, for most intents and purposes, is deemed safe, quote unquote, shall we say? And to your knowledge, Tucker, you and Professor Lanu would determine it as excursionable. So when you report it, you will be able to say like, yes, this place is ready for an actual excursion, for a more in-depth look to the Oasis Republic. And as Professor Lanu gets the donkeys ready, he goes, "Okay, everyone, start getting in the caravan. We will travel for a little while before taking a break for the night."
Tuck is going to look to Lanu and say, "Yeah, I think I'm going to help out with your..."
I'm going to call them, see what the fuck's going on tomorrow. Tomorrow's what? Sunday? Saturday? Tomorrow's Saturday, yeah. Cool. Yeah, it doesn't say... Oh, okay, now it's saying I'm live. Give it 1 second.
You're live for me.
Yeah,
okay.
I can see you.
You're back.
And I am back. Let's see. Sorry about that, guys. It looks like just for a second it disconnected. I'm going to have to apologize about that. We left off with Apple iPhone. I don't care about that. Give me... All right. It looks... I don't know what's been happening. AT&T's been failing me a few times as of late, so I'm going to have to double check with that kind of stuff.
Whack.
But, yeah, whack. But it looks like... yeah, all right. So I know roughly where we left off. Okay. At this point in time, you guys... Wix has come back. It is now currently come back here. Tucker has gone up to go shotgun with the professor, and Wiggs is hanging in the back of the cart. Is she mimicking Annalisa again or no?
Yes, she is sitting in the back of the wagon, like sitting like Annalisa was before.
Gotcha. All right, and yes, okay. Cool. We're fully back up now, and that's good. All right. So yeah, as you guys do that, Professor Lanu starts having the donkeys lead the group out, and you guys kind of go in silence for a bit. Obviously, Annalisa seems to be in a mood that was probably a little different than before. Wiggs is Wiggs. Not much there to you. And Ordo, what are you doing? I think you're the only person we haven't really heard too much
about. I think Ordo is probably... can Ordo be on like kind of like the side most of the carriage, like with like one leg kind of like dangling like slightly off the carriage? Is that possible?
You can pull out anime boy, sure.
Yeah, so I want to do that and have him kind of like kick back a little bit, just kind of, or like even like back straight up against something. Either way, just like like staring out at like the surroundings, just kind of like looking off at like a nondescript location in the distance, and just like reflecting on what happened with what may have happened with Ordo releasing the spirits.
Yeah,
because that would be a very if that is what happened. Which to Ordo that is, that's exactly what happened. It would be the first time something like that that he's done something like that, and he's known the prayers, but he's never actually set a spirit at ease.
By the start of the night, you guys hear not too far away the River Perseverance, or hold on, Philanthropy, the River Philanthropy. Not sorry. You guys passed that one. You guys hear another river not too far away that was not claimed by the Good Barrels. Actually, that would be more than a day. Never mind then. Too far. So you guys soon meet where the road kind of splits into three. And you guys start to make camp there, or at least Lanu does. And Lanu goes, "Okay, everybody, it's time to make camp. Be sure to unpack your belongings properly." And Tucker, while you were sitting shotgun next to him, he goes, "If you did find anything else, make sure to share it with me later on."
Tucker nods.
Because he's trained you to take documents and books and shit. So like, he knows that if you found anything else, you're either keeping on the down low or something. But like, he's just like, "Oh, just get to me later." He kind of gets he's not daft enough to not get the mood going around.
We'll have a long therapy session with your legs, Professor.
He just holds his hand up and says, "Just give me the cream. I'm gonna do it now." Do you give him the cream?
Yeah, Tuck gives him the cream.
He takes a few steps. He throws it across. No, I'm kidding. He takes the cream and he gets down, and after he sets up his stuff, he does actually take the cream out and he starts rubbing it on his legs properly. I will say this: everyone smells the cream. Everyone. It's so strong. The kiwi smell. The moment he just opens it up, the kiwi just goes everywhere.
Oh man.
Perception check, Ordo. Can Tuck make a perception check to see if anything's watching them?
Yes.
He's specifically looking for something that is watching Wiggs. Doop doop. That is, where's my sheet? Perception 18?
No. You don't see anything.
All right, he starts setting up his camp.
Do we have firewood?
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have to like go foraging for a bunch of supplies or anything. We're good to just set up camp.
It's only like your second or third night out, so like you have plenty of supplies.
Okay.
You're good to go.
Cool. Order's just gonna kind of help set up camp.
Mm-hmm. As you guys help set up camp, it slowly becomes the night. And this is the point where the session will wind down in just a moment. I'm basically gonna give you guys one more action for the night. I will say, Professor Lanu goes, and Elisa, there is no river nearby, so you will have to go the night likely without bathing. Before he starts getting some food crudely put up on spikes and onto the above the fire.
Annalisa kind of just draws her mouth kind of tight and just kind of accepts it in a "this might as well happen. This day has sucked so bad" type of way. And she goes to go sort of settle down by her sleeping bag.
Mm-hmm.
Not like sleeping yet, just kind of.
Yeah.
Tuck takes. Oh, sorry.
No, that was it.
Yeah, Tuck takes the penguin plush, and he kind of sets it up behind his head like a pillow.
Yeah.
And he's going to take out his journal or like his notebook and just start journaling and writing in it what they found and stuff like that. And at one point he does pass his documents and findings to Lanu as well.
In the reflection of the pen that you're writing with, you see a sealed... No, I'm kidding. You're fine. Yeah, you start writing in there. Lanu took the documents and is thoroughly going over them. He's not being really secretive about it. He's just kind of sitting by the fire and like reading through all the documents with ease. Like he's just kind of going through it. He has his old set of grandpa glasses on, kind of deal, kind of going through the documents. Ordo?
Ordo is going to. Is there something that I could store 10 gallons of water in?
Wow.
Not 10 gallons. No.
How many gallons of water could I store at a time?
You if you have a water skin, 1. And technically everyone has a water skin, so like 5.
Yeah, but man, I'm just gonna tell you what Ordo wants to do.
Yeah.
Ordo wants to try to create enough water that if Annalisa wanted to, she could like
Bathe.
at least like bathe and clean up.
Can you create water?
Yeah, I have create water as a spell. Create or destroy water. And I've got 3 spell slots, and since we're about to go to bed, I could potentially make 30 gallons if we needed it.
So we just need a bathtub, basically.
Yeah. Oh, we should have gotten the bathtub from.
I know. We could have had the chance.
Oh, man.
You hear
I thought it
Waffles laughing to this. No, I'm kidding.
I don't hear it, but I know it's happening. Yeah. Is there a way I would be able to?
You can get creative with it. Like, I don't know what you want to do, but like, I would say this: you don't have any immediate storage area to store 10 gallons of water. No.
Does Tuck see Ordo looking really distressed?
Could you know what? If I have to look at the actual math to do this, I can. How big of a hole would I have to dig?
I feel like that's just gonna make mud.
You see the 10-gallon tank, right?
Do I have any? Do I have a tarp? What pack do I have? I have.
I don't think any of the packs. I do not think any of the packs come with what you're looking for, bud.
You know what? I'm gonna look. Okay.
Yeah, go for it. And Elisa needs her bath.
Just like shoot the water at her. It's a shower, not a bath.
How much water could a tinderbox hold, sir? No.
Not a lot. No.
Go ahead.
I just want to say I appreciate it. I don't feel like any solution you come up with is gonna be one Annalisa takes.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's
but
not,
this
true.
Ordo
dug a hole in the ground, that would be like muddy and gross, probably.
But
and she'd probably be really upset with a lot of your solutions.
But does Ordo know this? Is the real question.
I think Ordo. You know what? Ordo would. I think Ordo is smart enough to know that digging a hole wouldn't be the best idea because he doesn't have a way to like line the hole.
Yeah.
And like, I guess he just, Annalisa, if I know that you like to wash up, I could create this flow of water if you would like to at least wash your face or something. I want to help. I just want to help.
Annalisa looks over at him and I think she says, okay. And she takes out one of her handkerchiefs and walks over to you.
Out of curiosity, does Ordo create water by blowing it out of his nose, or?
No.
As much as I want to say yes, I know that would be the worst possible thing I could do after trying to help Annalisa, and therefore I will have to say no. I will say he uses his. If you're okay with this, I know that for what it's worth, somatic components are with the hands.
Yeah.
For something like create water, can we just say I use my trunk for this? Just for
let me put it like this. This is a character choice you can make that will have a consequence when you do it to Annalisa. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean using the
Sprouts out of
nose.
his nose.
I don't want it to come out of my nose, so you know what? I will just use normal hand
Fair enough.
somatic components. But I also it wouldn't come out of my hands either. So I just create it within a 30-foot range.
Sure.
So I don't shoot water out of any orifice. But for the sake of not letting that even remotely be a possibility, I will use my hands, and then just create like a light flow of water, just like kind of out of the air for Annalise to
Sure.
do with. But remember, it's only 10 gallons, and we gotta conserve water, save the earth.
Of course. I mean, Annalisa is only washing her face, basically. Her face and her hands. So...
Yeah.
I have some kiwi shampoo. You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna...
Yeah, no, she's not gonna, like, wash her hair or anything. I feel like just the semantics of that just wouldn't work out. So she's just gonna,
Right.
you know, wash her face, wash her hands, sort of dry it off with her handkerchief, and she just sort of gives you a nod and says, "Thanks."
Anytime, look, Annalisa.
She nods again, and
Did
she
you-
sort of looks down at the ground and says, "Is it always like this?"
What do you mean?
When you journey, do you always find things like this?
Find things.
Like the village we went to today.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. Even Neville was just like not sure. I apologize. Not all the time. Definitely not all the time. More often than you might think, but not usually so upsetting.
She sort of lets that sink in and says, but do you ever get used to it?
I wouldn't say you get used to it, because each experience can be more upsetting in its own way, but you find a lot of good and a lot of rewarding things out here, and knowing that there is great joy and almost peace to be had makes any fear or any encounter of with bad things less bad, and it kind of makes it worth it.
Annalisa sort of gives a small nod and says, well, I don't know much about peace, but I suppose it was just a little shocking. I thought I knew what it would be like without good barrel protection, but apparently I did not. And she sort of, tugs on her sleeve a little bit and says, I think I know why my parents sent me on this journey now. if I'm to be a good barrel, I must be ready to handle things like this for my village.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt, but you are a good barrel. I think you're ready to handle these things. You've proven yourself in many different ways that you can handle yourself. And I think that both of your parents are very proud of you.
I used to think that too. But then, a couple days ago, they told me that something was wrong. And that I wasn't ready. They didn't quite say it like that, but they sent me on this journey for a reason. Apparently, I was not up to their standards.
Oh,
but I am going to show them that they are wrong.
Ordo understands that this isn't that this is where he should probably respect it and not push anything any further. And so he just kind of quietly nods. But you're gonna do great. You already have. Just trust me on that.
Annalisa stands up a little straighter and gives a nod and says, "Of course, it's in my blood."
Ordo just smiles kind of to himself, and just kind of says, "It sure is. It sure is in your blood." Just in a very proud sense.
Wiggs, what are you up to?
I feel like Wiggs is just separate from everyone, doing her own camp out. But I also want to note that Ordo resisted so hard to not call Annalisa little one.
Yeah.
That he did.
He really did.
He's a good elephant.
All right.
More than just an elephant, but that's fine.
The goodest boy.
The goodest boy. All right, guys. I think that's what we're going to leave off for today. Thank you very much for listening. I had an immense amount of fun. I hope everyone else did as well. It's always fun to play D&D. It's once again my favorite project to do on the channel. Tomorrow is my cooking stream where I'll be making transparent lemon meringue pie as voted upon by the community. If you are a subscriber, make sure to connect your Discord and your Twitch. That way you can vote for the next stuff that's coming up soon too as well. There will be a excuse me. There will be a newsletter coming out on the 1st of October, and the 3rd of October we'll be having another Among Us Day just to chill, hang out, and have some fun. But thank you guys very much. I'm going to put on the credits real quick. A big thank you to, of course, AJ for all their support, being one of my best friends, and of course the amazing emote. I said amazing. God. Not everything has to be electronical stuff. Jesus Christ. The amazing emote work. Fantastic job. I loved it so much. A big thank you to Scott Network for making the starting music. I think it's fantastic. It's lovely. A huge thank you to all of you guys for helping me out, just being there. It was a really good session today. I'm very distracted, y'all. And a big thank you just to everyone hanging out, and a double thank you to, of course, my mods and everyone like that. Big thank you to Neville for subscribing. That was very chill, Neville. Thank you very much. I do hope you I do hope you guys enjoyed everything. I hope you guys had a fun time with today's D&D session. We will be back in 2 weeks for more D&D, and I think that's just about it. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
And don't forget to say Botanist Cool. I actually, I won't lie. The past 3 or 4 streams, I forgot to say that. I forgot to say that myself, and that was just been like, Steph, what the fuck? Why'd you try to say that? Y'all have a good one. Talk to you later.